There are certain things we see as a child. We hold them dear to us till the very end. But sometimes, there's memories we'd like to forget. Have them locked away deep behind the back of our minds till one day, you see it again. That all too familiar sight or sound that brings back memories of nightmares, fear, and turning off your TV when you knew what was about to happen. All of this for me to say that Thomas the Tank Engine gave me nightmares as a kid. And yes, it did. But not the regular episodes like, oh, you just stopped at a hill, or the trucks are gonna do mass amount of property damage. No. I'm talking about the episodes that went dark with real stuff. What I mean by this are the episodes that had some sort of natural disaster to them or had some supernatural overture to them. The main one that perfectly encompasses this is the episode titled Rusty and the Boulder. It first starts off like any other episode, or at least I'd like to say it did, with the theme song of the show, but it starts with the narration of a boulder that's sitting on top of a hill, instead of, introducing a new character or showing what the trains are tasked with the day. A tone shift that I haven't seen in any other seasons of the show, at least from what I remember when I was a little kid. It almost seemed that the show wanted to hammer in the fact that there was something unusual about this thing, almost like they woke something up that they shouldn't have. Seems like a far-fetched statement till the following scenes show that it's actively trying to run down anything in its way. Really goofy and funny now. I mean, even see it now. oh no, it really is out for blood. The episode ends on a very low note, with a oh my jeez. I've yet to see any type of production like this in any kids show since in live action props and pyrotechnics. I mean, we don't even get a conclusion or happy ending after that. We just get Sir Top and Hat, or from our friends across the pond would say, the Fat Controller, just saying to shut everything down and that they shouldn't had never been there in the first place.
We should have left this part of the island alone.
Which begs the question, or rather multiple questions. What does he know? What does he mean by that? Is this cursed land? What is Boulder? And the most important of them all, why does it have a face? This is just one of the few instances of Thomas the Tank Engine scaring me as a kid. But since this is childhood trauma, I might as well tell one of my own stories, or rather share an episode that used to haunt me as a kid and give me nightmares. And that episode being Thomas, Percy, and the Dragon. Let me tell you, I was terrified of this episode and that damn dragon. I mean, look at it! The lighting makes it look taller than it is, and I mean, given that it's on par with the train engines and that they're scaled to little human models, that part freaked me out until we hear the setup of the episode. We begin with Thomas's friend Percy teasing him because he's a little bitch, because he done gave him a good old goof scaring him because he looked like a ghost. It's a long story, but anyways, after the ordeal, we see that Thomas has to pick up something at the docks, foreshadowing at its finest. Percy, who was shunting freight cars after the scene, gets stuck in a siding because the mechanism that switches the track gets jammed.
I can't switch them back for Percy. The workmen will have to mend them in the morning. It's too late now.
What does that mean, you may ask?
I'm sorry, Percy, but you'll have to stay here for the night. Where are you going? Asked Percy. Home for tea, replied the fireman.
I swear the show can be unintentionally funny sometimes. Percy becomes worried since he'll be all alone at night, and well, who knows what's out there? A monster in the shadows, a diesel trying to scrap them for parts, a paper dragon lurking about to wait, what? That thing right there, that paper dragon with its tongue out, that's what made little 3-year-old me cry. It doesn't help that they introduce him with music that sounds decrepit. I mean, we all know that Stinger song, but why does it have to sound like that? And it doesn't help that whenever they show Thomas pushing that dragon about, They have to put a weird steer noise or little jingles to make you remember its presence. I mean, listen to it. Granted, it's not on screen for the whole episode, more or less about 30 seconds in the entire episode, but man, it had such an impact on me. I couldn't sleep alone for a long time. Believe me, I had vivid memories of this thing coming near my house, ripping the roof off, contorting its body in all shapes and sizes, and then I woke. Granted, it was 3 in the morning and I had a cold sweat, but you know, nightmares do that to you. The nightmares didn't really stop after a while, but yeah, you get used to them. But yeah, those are the few instances in which this show scared me. Sure, there are a bunch of other times, believe me, there are, but these are topics we can talk about another time if we ever want to talk about Thomas again. And honestly, I want to hear what your scariest episode of the show was. Fear is a shared experience that everyone experiences, and I would like to hear what yours are. I mean, who's to say we won't talk about those in the future?